These towns look doomed. Why change anything when in a few years all this will be engulfed? Coal is flung down the mountainside, some of it sliding into barges, the rest settling over the city like a great black shroud. We pass through Witch's Gorge and into Sichuan province. There could hardly be a greater contrast with the world we've left behind. The glittering promise of Shanghai and the Three Gorges Dam. This is old China, where machines are few and expensive and human effort plentiful and cheap. Men and women form a conveyor belt to the coal barges. We decide to stop here and look at the town. It's called Wushan, a small, hard-working place of few luxuries. Life on Main Street reflects basic needs, food and warmth for the coming winter. For some reason, Wushan is full of hairdressers. I decide to treat myself.
You do one of those like you're doing to him, and a wash, and no haircuts. I think that's okay. All right, how do you do? Thank you. This is a monk's hair wash. So just do the bit in the middle. Thank you. They obviously work in relays here because the one lady lathers the hair very thoroughly, and now this girl here applies the massage, which is very nice. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen next, but I'll leave them to it anyway. I don't think this happens very often in a town like Wushan, judging by the audience. People here don't really see any Westerners at all. We've hardly seen anybody here. The other sad thing is that in 7 years, this high street will be completely dead. It'll be evacuated. And in a couple of years after that, about 10 years from now, it'll be underwater.
Every porter in town has turned out to help us leave. It's a fixed fee. The fewer the porters, the more money they share. So each man fights to carry more. Believe it or not, these are the lucky ones. I try to be helpful, but all I'm doing is depriving someone of a job. Separated from the rest of China by a ring of mountains, Sichuan is home to 100 million people. For many of them, the Yangtze is not only the lifeblood, but the great highway. The hard-worked riverboats sustain a whole range of ancillary services. As departure draws closer, the pace in the kitchen rises from merely manic to hysterical. Chinese takeaway is given a whole new meaning. Those of us not enjoying the benefits of a Chinese throwaway eat in the more sophisticated surroundings of the first-class dining room. We're deep inside China now, and I'm aware, not uncomfortably, that we're the only non-Chinese on the boat.
After 3 days and 2 nights on board ship, we've negotiated our way down the Yangtze Gorges to the town of Chongqing, which is laid out here. It's about 1,500 miles from the mouth of the Yangtze in Shanghai, and here the Yangtze River meanders off for another 2,500 miles up towards the Tibetan border. We, on the other hand, have to now try and head south towards the Vietnamese border and try and get a train across to Hanoi. The last we heard was that there definitely wasn't a train service across the border to Hanoi, and also that there definitely was, so we'll just have to go and see for ourselves. But this might have been the easy bit.
At first sight, Chongqing looks as romantic as all the other cities of the Yangtze. The difference is its size. Chongqing is the biggest city in China. It may soon be the biggest city in the world. 16 million people live in and around this mini Manhattan. It's famous for its fog. In the morning, I set out for a lunch date. Steps climb steeply from the river. 50 years ago, the entire water supply for the city was carried up here by an army of 20,000 porters.
Okay, so if you choose anything, a local speciality.
Waiting for me at the meat market is Miss Liu, a 23-year-old graduate from Chongqing University. She's one of a new generation of Chinese who can barely remember hardline communism and the Cultural Revolution.
So, Miss Liu, the meat that's hanging up here, that is the menu, is it? That's where the food we're going to eat comes from?
Yeah.
So what have we got? What's this we're starting with?
I think this is the steamed meat.
Steamed meat?
The pork.
Pork meat, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have a
try a bit?
Yeah.
Try a bit of steamed pork.
How about it?
I knew it was good actually before I ate it for some reason. We've come from sort of into China through Korea, and we spent some time in Shanghai. Does it worry you that as people get richer, they get more selfish, less community-minded? I mean, when Mao's idea was that China should be built on the peasantry who shared everything.
Yeah.
Now everyone's getting rich, they have their mobile phones. Do you think this is a change for the worse?
I think so, to some extent. Because I've learned that before the Cultural Revolution in China, the people live more closely to each other. They talk to each other very friendly. But nowadays, I don't think so.
Do you have an image of a life in Great Britain? I mean, like London, where I come from.